Jaipur is a city of rich history, towering forts, and incredible cuisine. It isn't an accidental city, it was planned and built with intent, long before modern urban planning became common. Behind its forts and palaces lies a story of science, power, astronomy, and design. If you have 48 hours in Jaipur, this is how I would plan it: what to see, when to see it, and how to experience the city without rushing through it. Hello and welcome to IH Aviation and Travel. I am Ishan and I share reviews of flights and hotels along with detailed city guides so you know exactly what to expect on your next trip. There is no better way to start a Jaipur tour than visiting the iconic Hawa Mahal first thing in the morning. Hawa Mahal was built in 1799 as part of the City Palace complex. While it's very thin, its purpose wasn't luxury but observation. Royal women, bound by strict court customs, could watch festivals and daily life unfold below without being seen themselves. The building's 953 jharokhas, or small windows, help create airflow that cools the structure naturally, even in extreme heat. Architecturally, it represents Jaipur's balance between social customs and climate intelligence. Around 30 to 45 minutes is more than enough to explore Hawa Mahal, both from the outside and the inside. There are several cafes right across the road that offer excellent views of the facade. Keep in mind that crowds can get pretty bad during the afternoon, so it's best visited early in the morning or later in the evening. And if you can catch it after sunset, Hawa Mahal looks equally stunning when illuminated. Next up is Jantar Mantar. It's right next to the city palace and is one of the most fascinating places for science and astrology nerds. Built in the 18th century, these massive stone instruments were used to track celestial movements, predict eclipses, and maintain accurate calendars. Maharaja Jai Singh II believed astronomy was essential to governance, and this observatory reflects that mindset. You can easily spend 1 to 1.5 hours here, and if you can, take a guide. The experience changes completely once you understand how these instruments actually work. Next stop is the City Palace, located right behind Hawa Mahal. The City Palace sits in the heart of Jaipur, both geographically and politically. Construction began in the early 1700s, and unlike isolated forts, this palace was designed to function within the city itself. What makes it unique is that parts of it are still occupied by Jaipur's royal family today, making this a living space rather than a preserved relic. As you move through the courtyards and halls, you will notice layers of history, Mughal influences, Rajput traditions, and later adaptations as power shifted over time. If you are genuinely interested in history or architecture, you can easily spend 2 to 3 hours here, slowly understanding Jaipur's royal past. While we take a look around, let me share a brief history of Jaipur. Jaipur is a relatively young city by Indian standards, but its story begins much earlier. Before Jaipur existed, power in this region was centered in Amer, a hill town just outside the modern city. For centuries, Amer was the seat of the Kachpaha Rajput rulers, who governed this part of Rajasthan while maintaining alliances with the Mughal Empire. By the early 18th century, Amer had outgrown its geography. The hills restricted expansion, trade was increasing, and the existing capital could no longer support a growing population. In 1727, Maharaja Savai Jai Singh II made a bold decision to move the capital and build an entirely new city from scratch. Jaipur was not meant to evolve slowly. It was designed deliberately, guided by principles from ancient Indian architectural texts and influenced by contemporary scientific thought. Streets were laid out in a grid, markets were organized by trade, and key buildings were positioned with careful attention to astronomy and geometry. Jaipur is known as the Pink City. In 1876, the city was preparing to welcome Prince Albert Edward, the Prince of Wales, during his visit to India. To mark the occasion, the city's buildings, especially those in the old city, were painted in a uniform shade of pink, a color traditionally associated with hospitality. This gesture made a strong impression, and over time, the color became part of Jaipur's identity rather than a temporary decoration. After exploring City Palace, you can spend the rest of the day walking through the streets of Old Jaipur, shopping for traditional handicrafts, textiles, and souvenirs, or simply soaking in the atmosphere. Day 2 is all about the forts around Jaipur. Start early in the morning and on your way to Amer Fort, make a quick stop at Jal Mahal. It's one of Jaipur's most visually striking sights. Set in the middle of Mansagar Lake, this palace appears to float on water, especially during the early hours when the light is soft and the crowds are minimal. Built in the 18th century, it was never a residence, but a leisure pavilion used during royal outings and hunts. Entry isn't permitted inside Jal Mahal, but it's a nice short stop to observe the structure. Next is Amer Fort, one of the largest forts in India. This is not a place you should rush through. Amer Fort is where Jaipur's history truly comes together, from royal life and military strategy to architectural brilliance. The fort is a maze of courtyards, palaces, and defensive structures, each telling a different story. The scale, the detailing, and the way the fort is planned along the hillside is nothing short of impressive. Give this place at least 2 to 3 hours. Anything less and you will only be scratching the surface. Construction of the fort began in the late 16th century under Raja Mansingh I, one of the most trusted generals in Emperor Akbar's court. That relationship with the Mughal Empire is clearly reflected in the architecture you see today. Amer Fort blends Rajput strength with Mughal elegance. Massive defensive walls on the outside and refined, almost delicate spaces within. Inside the fort, the layout follows a carefully planned sequence. Public audience halls, private royal quarters, and leisure spaces were all separated, reflecting the hierarchy and protocol of the time. Content creators like myself, who are pretty new at this, are motivated and appreciate the likes and comments even more. So if you have liked this video so far, I would be grateful if you like, comment and subscribe to my channel. And if you are feeling super generous, then there is also an option for super thanks. Whatever you do, thanks for doing it. One of the most remarkable spaces inside Amer Fort is the Sheesh Mahal or Mirror Palace. Built in the 17th century, this hall was designed to impress, and it still does. Every surface is covered with thousands of tiny mirrors, set into marble and plaster, creating patterns that reflect even the smallest source of light. Traditionally, a single candle was enough to illuminate the entire room, with reflections multiplying endlessly across the walls and ceiling. The fort remained the seat of power until the early 18th century, when the capital moved to the newly planned city of Jaipur. But even after that, Amer never lost its importance. It continued to function as a ceremonial and strategic center. Something that many tourists miss is Panna Meena ka Kund, a historic stepwell located near Amer Fort that once played an essential role in daily life here. What makes this stepwell striking is its symmetry. The crisscross pattern of steps isn't just visually appealing. It allowed people to access water from multiple levels as the water level changed with the seasons. 15 to 20 minutes is more than enough here. Next stop is Jaigarh Fort, constructed in the early 18th century by Maharaja Savai Jai Singh II as a military stronghold. part of a larger defensive system protecting the region and the newly founded city of Jaipur. Unlike Amer below, Jaigarh's architecture is functional and restrained. Thick sandstone walls, long ramparts, and minimal decoration reflect its purpose: defense, surveillance, and storage of weapons. What makes Jaigarh especially important is how it connects to Amer Fort. A hidden underground passage once linked the two, allowing secure movement during times of attack. The fort houses the Jaiwan cannon, believed to be the largest cannon in the world. It weighs approximately 50 tons. The cannon was so massive that its test firing reportedly created a crater several kilometers away. 45 minutes to 1 hour should be enough time to explore the fort. The final stop for the day is Nahargarh Fort, perched high above the city and offering the most expansive views of Jaipur. Built in 1734 by Maharaja Savai Jai Singh II, it was part of a defensive ring that included Amer and Jaigarh, designed to protect the newly founded city. However, over time, its purpose evolved. The fort became a retreat for the royal family, especially during the summer months when the elevation offered cooler temperatures and distance from the city below. The best time to visit is just before sunset. As the sun begins to dip, the fort's rugged walls glow in warm hues, while the dense city of Jaipur slowly lights up below. It's one of those moments where history, landscape, and scale come together, and a perfect way to end a long day of exploration. You can spend 1 to 1.5 hours here. Jaipur isn't a city you conquer in 2 days, but in 48 hours, you can understand how it was imagined. A city shaped by science, symmetry, and strategy. From the planned streets of the old city to the forts that guarded it, Jaipur rewards travelers who slow down and pay attention. I hope you enjoyed the city guide today. If you did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel for a new flight or hotel review every Saturday. I will see you next time from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia.